And we're live. Hey everybody, how you doing? It's your man James, Mr. Sequender Treasures, back again with some more live stream action for you today. Today's going to be something a little different. It's not the usual fare that you see from me. I'm going to be showing you the stuff I entered into the Comic Art Fans Best of for 2022. Now, this is all stuff from my personal collection. This isn't stuff that's for sale. This isn't stuff by the artists that I work with or anything like that. This is all stuff from my personal collection, stuff that I picked up in 2022 and entered it into their best of little competition they had there on the site. And I thought it'd be a fun thing for you guys to come on in and check it out and see what your old art slinger here thinks is the good stuff, personally. So I thought you guys would enjoy that. So we're going to head over and do that in a second here. But before we do that, I want to thank you all for joining me today, and I hope everything's going well for you. And okay, let's get right on into it. So we'll just head over here to share the screen. And there we go. And you see right here, the best of entries by me, and they have them by categories. I entered in 4 different categories, and we're just going to take these one at a time. And so we'll start right here at the top with the published, unpublished covers. Now, both of my covers are published, so we'll check those out here. And this is Cave Woman Raptor #1 from 2002. It's the inside front cover with an image here by Devin Macy. You see here, it's pretty obvious what it's all about. But I really liked Macy's use of color here. The flesh tones, of course, are incredible. But even like on the dinosaur here, the textures he gets, you see in those scaling looking, blue lines on the raptor. And then, I like the little cliff rock face she's laying on. And of course, just a little tongue-in-cheek, a little cheeky action here for you guys, which is what the series is known for. Devin Macy is the heir protege to Cave Woman creator Bud Root. But yeah, I really liked the image. I thought it was a lot of fun. To a simpler time when we could have fun with stuff like this before everyone was so hypersensitive and so whiny about things that offend them or whatnot. So, but yeah, just a little fun throwback image. Like I said, I really like that the color blending in here is exquisite. I love like right here, all the details and little bits of vines and stuff that are hanging over the edge, and it's just it's the little things. It's always the little things that make a piece stand out from so much of the other stuff that's out there. But yeah, this was the first one I put in, and then we'll just back it up. And then my other one here, I got another cover. This one here. Now this is a variant cover edition to a special 25th anniversary color edition of Razor #1. Now, if anybody out there doesn't know who Razor is, if you were around in the 90s like I was, she was part of the new bad girls. Not like Vampirella, who'd been around forever. This is an original character, and she's your angel of the night that goes out and takes out the bad guys, Wolverine style, basically. And this was done as a variant cover edition to a 25th anniversary reissue and colorization of the first issue of Razor, because the first issue originally was in black and white, and the cover is by Razor creator Everett Hartsoe. Right here, you can see, and this cover's from 2018. Again, just it's just Razor doing what she do, but again, just striking a pose, doing a little vogue. But again, it's just all the little details, like again, looking at the belt. Look at the detail in the skull and little notches on the belt here for where you would like put the clip, and then of course the pockets on the belt. I mean, just very well done. Everett Hartsoe, it's if you know his story, he's had somewhat of a hard past, so it's not surprising he would create a character like this. He used to channel some of his misspent youthful anger, shall we say, into the character, which is probably why it was so violent. But again, just a really great image of a character that really represents a specific era, a specific time, moment in time there. Like I said, the bad girl era of, like, say, 1992 to 95. She was like right there at the beginning of that. And so Very, very interesting, very, very great image here. Just again, just a classic piece. Okay, and now we'll move on to the next category, which is published interior pages or unpublished interior pages. Mine is published, of course. And this is from the miniseries Aliens Predator, the deadliest of the species, because it features female predators and aliens. So, as the old adage goes, is the female is the deadliest of the species. So there you go. And while there is no aliens or predators on the page here, I just loved the layout and the design work put in this page. Of course, that's no surprise. This artwork is by Jackson Geiss and John Beatty, who I wouldn't have thought Beatty would be a great inker on Geiss, because Geiss has a lot of very fine line work, and Beatty is a very heavy, dark inker. Thought it'd be too overpowering, but man, they really pulled it off in this, and that's, again, it's part of why I had to have it. I just had to own it. Right here, you can see, the thing I love best about Geiss is all the detail work, and I mean, his lines are super sharp. He's probably one of the finest draftsmen in comics, today or any era. And you can see here with what I call the gravelly frets. Look at her on the ground there. Look at all that broken glass and stuff at her feet and all around her. A lot of artists wouldn't go so hard to get all that detail in there. And he does it in panel 5 down here too. You can see where her legs are. All that. That's something a lot of guys would overlook. But Geiss, it's like this is like his stock in trade, is getting all that little fine detail in there. I mean, you really feel like if you rubbed your hand across the image, you would feel the pieces of glass brushing up against your hand. I mean, that's the kind of level of detail that you really don't see a lot of people put in the production of the art today. I mean, if you look at modern stuff and then you look at this, it's a night and day difference. And it's one of the reasons I've always loved Geiss's work ever since I first got seriously into comics. Like I said, these bottom panels, these show you how well he actually blends with someone like John Beatty. Now, Beatty has worked on guys like Mike Zeck and Kelly Jones. He's a very heavy inker, and I would think that would be too much for like drowning out a lot of the fine detail of Geiss. But he doesn't do that. He uses a slightly lighter touch, but he can pump it in when he needs to, like on the 7th panel here with the shot of her almost completely enveloped in darkness. And you just see the highlight of most of her face and a part of her torso. And I just love the dialogue that goes with this by Chris Claremont, who wrote it. Mr. Verbose, as a lot of people call him, but man, when he puts it on, he can really do it. He goes, madness upon madness. I start to wail. It's like the classic tale. It's like the tales of classic hell. Each circle of torment gives way to one immeasurably worse. And just like that look in that 7th panel there, with all the shadow around us everywhere, she's like enveloped in shadow. That is a very well done. That's the kind of thing where like an inker could really go overboard and ruin an image like that, and yet it gives you the feeling of terror that she's talking about in the captions. And it's a very, very subtle thing for an inker to have to pull off without overpowering the penciler too much. And again, like I said, just a great page from a miniseries that at the time was actually kind of popular. The Aliens and Predator stuff in the early 90s was actually pretty popular. This is from 1993. So great stuff. Geiss doing beautiful women and lots of detail, great shadows and dark undertones by Beatty. It's just a great done page. So, again, another one I'm very glad to have added to my collection last year. Okay, and we go on to the next category here. We have the published, unpublished comic splashes and title pages. Okay, now this is from a book called Marvel Vision number 10. Now, if you don't know what that is, I'm sure some of you out there might remember the old Marvel Age comic, which is basically a book Marvel put out with solicitations for all the new books that were coming out in a couple of months, along with some other bits. You had there was a page in there by Fred Hembeck doing a cartoon. Sometimes they have little artistic interviews and stuff, and you'd see some art in there. Marvel Vision was sort of the 90s version of that because they wanted to bring it back. Didn't last nearly as long as Marvel Age did, but one of the interesting things about the Marvel Visions was a thing they put in there called the time slip, where what you do is you take a character of Marvel's they get a great artist, you know, a very high profile artist at the time, give him a character that is well known, and then they reinterpret it and reimagine it into something completely different. And now this time slip by the great Scott McDaniel, you see right down here, there's his name. This is his time slip of Galactus. Now we all know Galactus is, you know, the giant armored, cosmic being, you know, that has threatened Earth more than once. You know, he's the creator of the Silver Surfer and Fire Lord and many of these other cosmic characters that we've all come to know and love because he made them their herald. But with the reimagining here by Scott McDaniel, he took one aspect of Galactus, his hunger, and then changed everything else. You know, whereas the Galactus we know from the classic Marvel is like this force of nature who's a part of the cosmic balance. You know, it has this rich history behind him. This is just basically a galactic parasite that devours all within its path. You know, Reed Richards isn't going to show up and try to talk him out of eating the Earth the way he did the Galactus we know. And I like how, you know, it's just so totally insane, you know, with what he did here. I mean, all these tendrils and, you know, the gaping maw with these I don't know, these, I guess, like tongues, I guess, and you can see it's ripping up buildings, it's just devouring everything. I mean, it's like something out of a 1950s creature feature movie, you know, and that's probably why I love it, because, you know, as you all know, I'm a bit of a horror buff. So, and I just, you know, again, you can see right there, all look, and look at those buildings. Let's take a moment here to look at the buildings that McDaniel look at all those hard straight lines. Do you know how hard that is to do, you know, as an artist, to just get concentric lines so perfectly spaced, how time consuming that actually is to produce that effect. And yet here he does it, and it looks absolutely spectacular. You know, it's sort of like, this is like order, and then above with Galactus is chaos. You know, it's kind of like I just love how they got that duality in the image that way. But yeah, it's a great image. This piece was actually reprinted in after they canceled the Marvel Visions book. About a year later, Marvel put out a book called Marvel Collection Time Slip, and they had all the time slip characters put into this one book where you could view them all in just one solid collection. And so, you know, that was in here. But I guess I just love this. I bought this directly from McDaniel last year about this time. So, you know, it was I guess I couldn't believe this was still available, and I always wanted one of the time slip characters, and so to have this is a real joy to me. And I definitely, how could I not want to put this in with my best of the year? It's just common sense to me that you would do that. Okay, and then we get to our 5, the published, unpublished comic book pinups, illustrations, and trading cards. Now mine in this one is unpublished. Everything else you've seen before this was published. This is my only unpublished piece that I have put in for this year. We'll blow that up. And of course, this is Gamora, you know, who's done a lot of stuff at, you know, Marvel and DC. I love the play he does here with this. You know, just a classic pinup type image. I mean, this is like, you know, almost like Marilyn Monroe posing type of thing here. You know, with their look, you know, the placement of the hands, the slight, you know, shifting of the hips where she's down on her knee. I mean, it's just beautifully done. And what really impressed me the most about this piece by Wyman is the colors. Again, the colors really speak in this. You know, you got 3 different shades of green. You got the green of her costume, the green of her skin, and then like the green of her lips and the fingernails. All 3 different shades of green, and yet he blends them seamlessly together to one coherent image, and it all comes out beautifully. You know, I just love that. And, you know, again, she's, you know, this is the deadliest woman in the galaxy according to her billing, and it's like you can see why. She's using everything at her disposal to get your attention. You know, I like the one arm behind the back, like almost like maybe she's reaching for something, like maybe a knife that's, you know, between her shoulder blades, and so she's trying to lure you in with her beauty, and then the minute you get close enough, she's just going to, like, you know, just give it to you. And that's, you know, but what else would you expect of the most deadly woman in the galaxy? But you know, very, very beautiful. I mean, again, you know, just look at the coloring on the skin. and the way he gets the blends in to get the highlights. I mean, that's very detail intensive work. That's not something you just do. And I also like how he shows, like down here on the feet, you can actually see the toenails through the sort of like the stockingness of the outfit. So the outfit's kind of sheer, but not totally, but it's sheer enough that you can see the toenails. I like that. And then a lot of people might not know Gamora's look like this. They know her more from the Guardians of the Galaxy films. Now the modern take, but this is the classic '70s Gamora. This is the one that I know. This is the one that I grew up reading about and I love. So just a beautiful, beautiful pin-up-y type, by the great MC Wyman, doing a character that has become much more popular in recent time. So it's definitely something that I thought was worthy of spotlighting as one of my best of the year. So, and there you go. You got those were my picks for this year. This is the ones I chose to use as my best of for 2022. So what did you guys think? Did you like what you saw? Did you? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Any Atari Force pieces? No. I don't think we'll ever see that Hyper Potato. I don't think that's ever going to happen, unfortunately. I tried. I sent him a copy of the book, hoping maybe he'd read it and fall in love with the stuff, but it doesn't look like it's going to work. So, that's. Yeah, he is. I follow him on Instagram too. I love his little Instagram post where he shows off art that has inspired him. Right now he's talking about Big John Buscema a lot, and just it's always interesting to see an artist's take on other artists. I think it's a lot of fun. So yes, I definitely agree. And Geis is certainly one of my personal favorite artists. Like definitely top 10. Yeah, I mean, it kind of is. I mean, I don't want to knock it too much. I mean, I know there's a lot of effort from people who are good at that style of art, but yeah, I feel like when it's not on paper, when it's not something you can hold in your hands, it loses something. It's not as good as it should be. But it is what it is. Technology. It's how the world works. Yes, yes, Hyper Potato. That is true. That is true. That's in case you can't see it right here on the rack back here. It's issue 6 of Atari Forces up there on the rack. Of course, I had to put it there because I don't have the animosity towards it that Aaron Lopresti seems to have for whatever reason. But I enjoyed it. At least the first like 12 or 13 issues I thought were really good, and then kind of falls apart after that. After Conway and Garcia Lopez leave the book. But up to that point, it was good stuff. A great sci-fi epic. If you guys haven't checked it out, you should go check it out. The Atari Force. I know a lot of people think it's silly because it's based off the Atari video games. Yeah, it's got the Atari symbol in there, and they call it Atari Force. But really, if you just overlook that, it's just a great sci-fi story, and I enjoyed it. So we got another person showing up here. Tarks9, hail Tarks. Yes, glad to have you here, my friend. We just went through my pieces here for the year. Well, I think it's because I've lived so long. I'm kind of becoming a bit of a classic myself. That's how it goes. You live long enough, you become the classic, and so then you have much greater appreciation for them. I guess is how that works. See, Marcus Killigrew, he gets it. It was a good comic. Like I said, up until Conway and Garcia Lopez left, and then nothing against Mike Baron. I love Mike's work. I loved his Punisher stuff. I loved some of the other stuff he's done. Some of the Badger work he's done. But he just didn't gel with Atari Force. I don't think he quite got the concept of what Conway was doing before him, and that's why the book didn't last very long after that. I think it just didn't have the same feel after he left. But hey, it is what it is, and we still got the great back issues here we can check out and enjoy. So, yeah, so there you go, folks. The best of. So if you guys, any of you are members of Comic Art Fans and you have your own galleries there, you're able to vote, and voting starts now. So you can head on over and vote for your pick out your pieces. I think what it is for each category, and there's more categories than the ones I was in. I only put in the ones I was able to. There's like I think 7 or 8 different categories of stuff, and you can pick 3 or no, pick 5 items from each section as your choices. So if you like what you saw with some of my stuff, please throw a vote or 2 my way. I would appreciate that. I've done these in the past, and I've had years where I've got absolutely 0 votes, which I think is kind of hard to do. Normally somebody will get at least 1 vote on something, but me, I've had years absolutely nothing got a vote. So, if you guys like what you saw here and you're able to vote, head on over and check them out. And if you like what you saw, throw a vote my way. I'd appreciate that. Seeing somebody like something, besides me. But yeah, I think this is just something I wanted to do a quick one here for fun, guys. A little something fun, to break up the monotony. And what's this? Yep. See, there you go. So if you have one, then you can vote, Marcus. You can go over to the best of, and you can vote on all the different categories. You could pick out, look through all the people's stuff there. There's some of the rooms have like a couple hundred entries. Like I think the covers have like almost 300 entries, and then you got like the strip art, like comic book strips, and there's only like 60 or 70 in there. So it just depends. But out of each category, you can pick 5 items as your personal best 5 that you think were in the section. So again, if any of you guys like my stuff, please throw the vote my way. I would appreciate that greatly. Just like I would appreciate if you like what you saw here, throw a like down there. And if you got any comments, something you want to say about some of the art I showed, drop me down there. I always want to hear what you guys got to say because again, all this stuff, it means nothing without you guys. So, and before I head out, of course, let's do the shill, because I have to do that. Otherwise, what's the point in even doing live streams? So we're going to share, and if like Marcus, if you have a ComicArtFans account, or even if you don't, you can still help yourself to getting some art by heading over to our art gallery, which is linked down below there in the description section, and you can check out some of the fine artworks by the artists I work with, guys like Bob Smith and Mike Harris, Dan Lawless, Richard Moore, Terry Shoemaker, just great stuff. I mean, check out that Dan Lawless Spider-Man page. I mean, how awesome is that? That's like a piece anybody would love. If you love Spider-Man, that's the kind of thing you want right there. We got this great Iron Man montage splash here by Terry Shoemaker featuring the origin of Count Nefaria. I mean, just great stuff. Great stuff. There's like 1,200 pieces up right now. Tons of stuff here. Just head over, help us out. Start your own collection, and then you can jump in and be part of the best of series here on ComicArtFans. Maybe I can throw a vote your way in the next one. But if you want to help us out, please do that. Like I said, it helps out the artists, it helps out the channel, keeps the lights on, and it's the best way to help us out. But again, I understand the times we're living in under the Joe Biden economy, and I know not everybody has the kind of disposable income for art, even though I work very hard to try to keep it reasonably priced for everybody. But if you can't help us out in the financial sense, well, something you can do that is absolutely free, besides liking and subscribing to this channel, that is you can head over to our MeWe group. You can't miss us. We got this great image by Dan Lawless of Cable versus Wolverine. And this is the one-stop shop for everything that's going on. You see here, it's I just did the art of unboxing a couple days ago with some great art from Bob Smith, some great Archie stuff. And then, here was Jerry Ursono's birthday on the same date it was my birthday, in fact, on January 13th. And then here you go, last Wednesday. This was the last Wednesday. Every Wednesday I do a little bit here called Comic Art Wednesday, where I just take a piece of art from one of the artists, something published, and I throw it up here with the published version of the page and the cover so you guys can check it all out. And it's just something to be fun and enjoying of the greatness that is comics and comic art. So, it's just so all of this right here is in all, whenever they have new works coming out, like here's the most recent one from Bob Smith, reaching Archie's book that came out. So it's your one-stop shop for everything going on with me and the artist. And if you're coming over, if you're on MeWe, come on over and join our group, because I always like to have more people join. And if you're not on MeWe, come join on MeWe and then come join our group, because again, it's a lot of fun, and again, it's all for you guys, so it's all to your own benefits. And up next, of course, I'd be remiss, since Hyper Potato actually brought him up earlier. why not bring him up now? And that is the great, as he likes me to say, he's just doing fun of me for saying the great Aaron Lopresti. Over Aaron, and if you've liked and subscribed to this channel, going over and like and subscribe to his channel where he does lots of great stuff. He's got a new drawing stream now called the Graybeard Studios that he does with artist David William and Kelsey Shannon. You know, he does a weekly show. Like just last night, he did a show with his wife. You know, it's his weekly show that they do together. And then of course, there's a show he does with me once a month, last Saturday of every month, the Comic Art Convo. You can see it right down here. Here we are. And that was our special extravaganza on New Year's Eve. We did a show for New Year's Eve. It was the last one of the year, and we talked about our favorite cover artist, among other things. We show off some great artwork. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time for everybody. So make sure you subscribe to his channel so you don't miss those. Next one on that coming up is going to be January 28th. So it's just under 2 weeks away. And the opening topic is going to be discussing our top 3 favorite episodes of Star Trek, the original series, and the one episode that we don't really care for. So that should be a good time. I know Aaron's very excited, being the Trekker that he is. So you don't want to miss out on that. So head on over and subscribe to Aaron's channel if you subscribe to mine. And then that way you can make sure you don't miss the next Comic Art Convo, our first one of the year, folks. The first one for 2023, Season 2. MeWe, it's sort of like what Facebook used to be before it got all censorious and people able to like trying to get your accounts banned and everything else. So it's kind of like Facebook circa 2010, and I think you can enjoy it for that. And again, I like it there because they're not censorious. They don't censor people. They don't ban people for unless you do something really really egregious. Posting pornography or something like that, or making threats of violence. You do something really egregious, they might ban you. But short of that, yeah, you can pretty much say whatever you want, do whatever you want there, and it's all good. So that's my preferred place that I use now. Is I used to use Facebook, but like I said, it just became too censorious, too much, and so I had to find somewhere else to go, and that's what I found with MeWe was the best alternative that I found. There may be another one out there that is better, I don't know, but MeWe works for me, so that's what I use. No, we're not going to be talking Next Generation. Aaron, I'm not even sure if he's even seen Next Generation. And if he has, he probably hasn't seen much the way he talks. For him, it's like there's only the original Star Trek and the first 6 motion pictures. That's him. That's Star Trek for Aaron. So that's why we did the original series, so that he would feel, that he could actually contribute. I could do a series, if you want to talk about the top 3 episodes of Next Generation. I could do that because I grew up with that show. But I don't think Aaron would be as insightful on that as he's going to be with this one. So that's why we went with the original series. And last thing here I want to share with you guys before we call it good is this right here. I asked you to subscribe to my channel. I asked you to subscribe to Aaron, so now I subscribe to Pops. And you're saying, what's this? Pops on Pop Culture. I did some interviews with him last year, along with a couple other things. And starting this Wednesday, he's going to premiere a new video. He's doing it as a premiere video. Me and him are doing a new thing called Why It's Great. And what we do is we take an issue from a comic we read that we really, really love, and we talk about why we think it's great. So it's not so much like a review where you don't know what we're going to think. These are books that we absolutely love, so you already know how we feel about them. We just kind of go into why we feel that way and what it is that makes them such a great book for us. And it's going to be our first one coming up here on Wednesday. So head on over and subscribe to Pop's channel. He's going to premiere it on Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you look down in the description section, I have a link to the last thing I did with Pops, which was last month around this time. I did a piece with him where we talked about how to get people into comics. Where do you start? And so I kind of discussed that with him. It was like right before Christmas. So like if people were looking for Christmas gifts or whatever, we thought it would be a great thing to do. So go and check that out, and then go over and subscribe to his channel. Because like I said, we got our Why It's Great premiering this Wednesday. So you don't want to miss out on that. And I would tell you what book I chose and what book he chose, but I'd rather give you guys a surprise on that. And just have you get surprised by what we come up with. But I think it's going to be a good thing. Like I said, it's the positive thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. So again, and just like with all the stuff I do around here for you guys, it's all for you. I don't make any money doing these, the comic art convo with Aaron, why it's great with Pops. I don't make any money at this. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it for the fun. I'm doing it for the love of comics. I'm doing it for you guys. So you guys have some great content out there to enjoy, since the mainstream seems to be leaving us all behind and not caring what we think anymore. So, but I care. So as I said, please like and subscribe to this channel. If you got any comments, throw them down there, because I care what you think. The mainstream may not, but I do. So please hit us up down there. And I want to thank you all for joining me today. I hope you had some fun with this. I hope you saw some really sweet art. And like I said, if you're on Comic Art Fans, the voting is going on right now. You can head on over, and if you have an account there, you can do a vote. And if you saw any of the pieces of mine that you really liked, and you're like, hey, that was a really sweet piece, throw me a vote my way. I would appreciate that very much. So I want to thank you all again for joining me. I'll be back again soon with some more stuff. I've got a sequential thinking piece I'm working on at the moment. I'm not sure if I'll have it in time for the end of the month, but I'm going to try. We'll see how that goes. And then, of course, I have coming up my birthday. As I said, my birthday was last Friday, but I ordered some stuff online and it hasn't come in yet. So as soon as it comes in, I'm going to do an unboxing of all my quote-unquote birthday gifts. So you don't want to miss out that. That's going to be coming up soon as it's all here. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. And until next time, take care.